I know something about Dodge. The Challenger is dead and the Charger gonna be a two-door. So some sources reach out to me to give me some very juicy information about the upcoming two-door Dodge Charger. But what if I told you that I have more receipts, that I actually have the release dates for some of these new vehicles and the powertrains going in them? So buckle up, because this is the video that Dodge definitely does not want you to see. So let's get right into these photographs. So this first photo you're gonna see is basically a side profile of the chassis for the brand new 2024 cars. Now this car is stored within Windsor. You see a lot of construction going on in the background because this plant is currently being retooled for the 2024 Stella Large platform vehicles. So you can see that this body is sitting on this little chassis dolly, and you can tell by the rear quarter section that this is in fact like the same shape as the Charger Daytona. Now the one big change that I noticed with this particular shot is that it has a pillar in there, and then I think on the concept car there was no pillar in between the front and the rear seats. So that's probably one structural change that they had to do in order to make the Charger Daytona street legal. So this is 100% definitely the Charger Daytona body, because if you stack it up side by side with a Charger Daytona, it has the same overall shape, and it has that very hard crease line that starts from the door and moves up to the rear tail light. So we're gonna go to this front profile shot, and you'll see that there's plenty of room for an engine in the engine compartment, and there is a nice size transmission tunnel in there. So whether or not this is the electric version or the gas version, it doesn't matter, because they're gonna go within the same chassis. They've been designed from the ground up to interchange between gas and electric. And you can kind of see on the car right beside it that it does have a gas door right there in the top rear quarter, where you typically find a gas tank door. But that's the main thing I noticed with this particular shot. And then let's move to the next shot, and you see a very good side profile of this car on the driver's side. And as you can see, there's a big old gas door right there in the rear quarter. Now I believe what they're going to do is they're going to make the gas door in the rear quarter the same as that door as the charging door, because I'm pretty sure I remember reading somewhere that a lot of these EV manufacturers, they're going to get into partnerships with Tesla to use the supercharger network. And I'm pretty sure on all the Tesla vehicles, all their charging doors is back there in the rear of the vehicle. So it makes sense for them to do the same thing on the Charger Daytona. That way, for the gasoline versions of the car, they'll have the charging door and the gasoline door in the exact same spot. Now, another thing that you'll notice on this particular chassis is that in the rear, there is no taillight panel. So there's no structure back there. So this is 100% a Charger, especially the Charger Daytona, because we saw during Speed Week that the Charger Daytona will be a hatchback vehicle. And we saw on the big screen when Tim Kniss was talking that it's going to be a flat area for you to load stuff in and out. So this car is going to be a hatchback, a two-door hatchback, just like the Charger Daytona concept vehicle is. And as I said before, the only real major change that we've seen is that it's going to have a pillar and not be pillarless like we saw on the Charger Daytona concept vehicle. One thing I failed to mention in this particular shot is that if you look right there in that roof section, that's a big open area for a lot of glass. So that's why I'm thinking this right here is 100% a Charger Daytona chassis that they're basically doing some testing on to make sure it can run down the new Stella Large line that's being installed in Windsor. Now, I was one of the first people to leak that Dodge is going to build their vehicles at Windsor like over a year ago. And so I know off the top of my head, it's going to be the Charger Daytona, Charger, maybe the Challenger, because from what I heard that they're kind of up in the air whether or not they're actually going to use the Challenger name on the four-door car. And off the top of my head, I know that the Airflow is going to be there, and the Pacific is going to be there for a little while longer. But I do actually have some dates that I'm going to give to you guys in a second to actually confirm all the models that's going to be made there at Windsor and when they're going to actually roll off the line at Windsor. So I have some information about the dates that some of these vehicles are going to launch that I got a screenshot of, but I'm not going to show you guys a screenshot. So as I said in my other videos, I don't do anything to get my sources in trouble. So as I've said the last time, you're gonna have to trust a bro. Okay. The first vehicle that's gonna be launching off the line is gonna basically be the Pacifica that's gonna be launching again, and that should launch. It look like in the next. Look at the dates. So about 3 weeks, the Pacifica should be run off the line again. Because like I said, that's gonna be coming again. All the dates are in order as I go down the list. So we got the Pacifica that's gonna be relaunching basically the first week of November. Then a month later in December, the LB29 cars are going to be launching. And so LB29 and 49, as far as I know, the 29 was supposed to be the Challenger, and the 49 was supposed to be the Charger. So I'm assuming 29s for 2-door, 49s for 4-door. But as I talk to people who actually work for Stellantis, they've tried to kind of make it to where it's not that much confusion with the cars. Could be kind of confusing if you had a 2-door Charger EV and a 2-door Challenger gas vehicle. So I think they made the final decision, because I leaked this a while ago, I think about a few months ago, that they're going to make all the 2-door cars a Charger, and then they're going to make all the 4-door cars. It was up in the air 50-50 whether or not they're going to make the 4-door version either a Challenger or a Charger. I know from what I was told that the car is done. They just don't know whether or not they're going to name the car whichever name. Based off information I have, I don't have the whole entire picture, but I believe the LB29 is going to be the Charger 2-door cars, and the LB49 is going to basically be the Charger 4-door cars, because I think they're going to just kill the Challenger off with the Demon. But hopefully I'm wrong about the names, but I have these dates right here, and all it has on these dates right here is just the chassis name and not the actual car name. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to make these Dodge Charger lower tier Daytona cars, and then there's going to be a Christmas downtime right around the typical Christmas break, and then the LB49 cars, which is going to be the 4-door car, regardless of what they call it, Challenger and Charger, those pilots are going to run like in February. So the two cars that Dodge is going to launch first is going to be the 2-door 400-volt electric car, and then the 4-door 400-volt electric car. So they're going to run the EV cars first, and then the LB29 ICE cars is going to run in like April. Yeah, April. And then according to this, the summer downtime from now on for Dodge is going to be in August. So in August, that's when they're going to start shutting the plant down, instead of like around November, December, when they retool over for the old Dodge cars. October, and in October of next year, that's when we're going to see the Chrysler Airflow, them doing the 800-volt pilots for that car. So the Chrysler Airflow, it looks like from this chart that I got, is that they're going to skip having a 400-volt system and go straight into the high-performance Banshee system, which is pretty interesting. So I guess the Airflow is going to be a premium vehicle and going to cost more money than the Dodge cars will, because they're going to have the 400-volt cheaper cars get tested first. And then in November of next year, that's when we're going to see the 800-volt pilot cars. And it just says the LB platform, so I assume they're going to have both the 2-door and the 4-door cars start doing pilot testing in November of next year. So it seems like the typical thing that we normally see, where a brand is going to release the cheaper variants of their cars first, and then wait a year later, and then we're going to get the high performance version after that. I'm pretty sure that if they do pilot runs, they're around 8 to 9 months away from actually launching those vehicles. So I think the TRX did the same thing. I think the TRX was testing pilot vehicles in like January of 2020, and then it was around August, September when they finally revealed the car, or revealed the TRX with the truck, and then they let us order it, and it was supposed to come out in October, but from what I was told back in 2020, the TRX failed its emissions certification and had to get the exhaust system redesigned, and it was delayed again until December of 2021. That's what I'm thinking was going to happen with these pilot vehicles. Is about 9 months after these circuits get released, I'm thinking we're going to start seeing the 400-volt Dodge cars, the EVs, and the ICE vehicles probably sometime the second half of 2024. So I would assume after the summer shutdown is when we're going to start seeing the first 2024 Dodge electric and Hurricane cars pop up. Just looking off of these pilot timelines, and then we'll see the Banshee system sometime probably late summer of 2025 to maybe a little bit past that. We'll see the airflow, like that's going to come sometime in 2025 as well. Oh, then another thing I noticed on this list is that it's saying that the LB SRT 800 volt pilot cars with air suspension. So it looks like the cheaper 400 volt cars is not going to get the air suspension system. It's like all those drag modes that, not drag modes, but all those drive modes that Tim Knissen said that you can get through direct connection. That might be only exclusive to the Banshee. Let me know what you guys think. The only thing I'm just going like, where is the pilot testing for the 4-door ICE cars? Are they only going to make sedans only EVs? Which doesn't really make sense. At least based off of here, there will be a Charger Daytona electric vehicle. And based on that picture I showed you of the chassis for the Charger, like we're going to have a Charger Daytona regular gas version. Now I do have the question, what was that car that Tim Knissen showed back in 2020, the red one underneath the covers? Because I mean, that one is still a very big mystery to me. Is that one the actual gas version of the Charger Daytona front end, and then the EV version gets the whole R-Wing stuff? Or is that one that was shown during EV Day back in 2020, is that supposed to be the front end for the 4-door car? So that's really my only question, is what is that particular car? That's the only unsolved mystery I still have left for these two cars, the 2-door and the 4-door. But let me know what you guys think about these dates. Until next time, I'm out.
The Charger Daytona isn't just going to be remembered because of the looks. It's going to be remembered because it's been amplified by its patented sound chamber. While other EVs are focused on keeping quiet, we amplified ours. Thanks to the patented Fratsonic chambered exhaust, the output is going to be as visceral as those that came before it. 126 decibels of output. How loud is that? That's Hellcat loud. That's Tower Flyby Spill Your Coffee loud.